Inviting the second paper in this theme, Team SprintStudio.ai and Dabur. The paper is titled Opt for Micro Community Conversations, Not Just Interviews.
Good evening. Thank you for having us here. I am from Dabur and my co-authors are from Sprint Studio AI, and we are equally excited to share the learnings from our paper titled Beyond the Script.
Lovely to be here to present a fresh approach to research. What's life without Dilbert? अगर डेटा होगा तो आउटपुट तो मिल ही जाएगा, राइट? चाहे वो चैट जीपीटी हो, एआई हो या statistics हो. What we really need to solve for is quality of data, and can technology transform that? Just an analogy, yes, I have F1 up there. Who are we? We are the people behind the screens, reading the signals, interpreting the signals, and guiding the strategy. But there is a problem. Are we really connected? Picking signals from consumers is delayed, weak, and muffled. Right. Can technology transform this? I'm asking that question one more time. Yes. Picking boring researches into engaging ones, one interaction into continuous conversations, and making data longitudinal. Manual to automated to add speed to research, and interviews to conversations. So you reading true signals and unlocking rich insights. So let's bring this alive through a case lab.
Now, going 2 quarters back at Dabur, we had a real problem in hand. The oral care team of Dabur, along with the CMI team, had identified a growing subsegment in toothpaste category. Not many players were operating there. We wanted to get into, however, many players had tried entry, but then they failed because they had gone into the Me Too space. Of course, we didn't want that. We did our own rounds of check, and every time we did for all the checks, we kept failing. It was frustrating to say the least, and sooner we realized that we have two big tasks at hand, right? We have to build a very strong differentiation and thereafter land a strong relevance, else we might also end up failing like others. After yet another round of concept check, we realized that we have to ask a question to ourselves. Are we tapping the right feelings of the consumers? Well, it was a hard-hitting statement to accept to in the beginning, but sooner, we understood that we have to go deep down into consumers' minds, into consumers' life, and unlock some fresh consumer insights, some fresh moments of truth to navigate through this. And the journey to this solution was actually made magical with the help of a very interactive micro community which she was talking about. Let's more hear about it.
The solution is Sprint Conversations app that builds multi-dimensional capabilities. You build communities, you chat with them, you connect with them on video, you can send them conversational surveys, all in one place. So imagine WhatsApp, Zoom, survey platform, all in one place. Moving away from broken journeys that consumers actually face to a very seamless one, to have a space of their own where they can say they belong. That's the idea of micro communities. Micro communities in this particular case, so how did we get started? It was immersive, it was live. We started to build, we started to onboard consumers. We started to build relationships with them. We were not chasing them for that, madam, that 1:30 ka interview join kar lena. They could actually answer anytime, anywhere, okay, and be part of the community. Second, we actually were connected to them for weeks altogether, right? We were listening to their stories, and that allowed us to iterate on this particular research with multiple tools that we had on hand. We didn't stop there. We went into co-creation with the consumers because what we were building was engagement with consumers, okay? Now, many work on communities, and one place where we really differ from others is interaction between members. अगर interaction नहीं है, तो वो community नहीं है. Think about it, right? Now, technology gives you a space to be creative. And we start, in this particular example, we used memory cards to actually generate stories about बचपन की यादें, right? बचपन की memories. Imagine 100 such stories getting generated in a day or two. Your inspiration for communication is right here, right? Now, since people could answer from, they had time to express, and they were not getting rushed into answering questions in a very packed 45-minute, 1 hour DGs, right? So they had time to reflect, they had time to journal and share their stories back with us. And that's where the new language emerged. The idea that we wanted to bring alive was to actually break the Me Too-ness. And new language was very, very important, right? We could feel the insights. Think about it, her pain, right? Hey Bhagwan, मुझे कोई और बीमारी दे दे, but ये दांत का दर्द मुझसे ले ले. Her confusions. People were ready to share their confusions. Do they know what causes oral care problems, or do they not know? And that way, they were able to express to us what they really felt and not what we wanted to hear. We collected pictures, their search results, and many more things. Right? Let's move forward. We wanted to speak to them. There were already cohorts emerging, and we could pick people with contrasting point of views and go deeper. It's a connected community. Setting up these video conversations with them on the app itself was X times faster. Secondly, while we were in the active conversation, we were swiping right, recording the aha moments, and that was sitting right in our library out there, which meant that after a day, we could actually analyze those highlights and iterate in real time. Next, what we did was we wanted individual responses, not just the group responses. So we actually sent them questionnaires which were conversational. The idea of conversations was extended even into surveys. You could ask questions around categories, their issues, their solutions. We sent them concepts, we sent them ads, and we did whatever we thought was necessary to unlock the insights. But that's not where we stopped. We reimagined. We reimagined to push the boundary further. It was an immersive research, and what we did next was pushing research into activity-based inquiries. We started to co-create with them. I have 2 examples for you here. Lights, camera, action. We actually got them to write TV scripts for us, and new insights tumbled out. दूध के दांत में cavity लगना is not a problem for a mother. Why? Because permanent teeth आना अभी बाकी है, right? And that's where you start unlocking precious insights and precious opportunities. This is another testimony of how engaged the consumer really was. And what they were telling us was not just writing a print ad for us, but telling us unknowingly what their biases are, unknowingly telling us that what their purchase hierarchies really are. And we were happily tapping into those opportunities that were staring at us. Now let me bring this alive through a video.
Well, so this was definitely not the conclusion, but actually a beginning to pursue the same objective, After all, what did we achieve after all this adventure? Number 1, We redefined the entire problem now. Number two, we gradually shifted our focus from developing a strong reason to believe, because in Dabur, we always enjoy the trust quotient of the consumers. So now we started focusing more on having a very strong right to win. And how did we do that? By unlocking some fresh communication codes from this approach, which were much, much closer to consumers' life. Suddenly, way forward became very, very clear, and we were ever more confident to approach a 2,000, 3,000 crore category with much ease. Moreover, our sales force, our trade team, who always boost our confidence during new launches, they had always accepted this final, output with much pleasure. Moreover, we had also determined that we will extend this platform, this technology to, check many more marketing elements and not just communication. For example, in this case also, the product and the packaging were also checked through this platform. And hence we say that this is definitely not the conclusion, but a beginning to crack many more successful launches in Dabur. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Hi. There's a question. How do you go about analyzing text data that is typed in English or Tanglish?
Technology cannot solve it perfectly right now, so we have the human at it as well, along with technology. Yeah.
How much time did an interaction with a consumer take compared to the usual qualitative methods?
So we had this community on for 4 weeks, and within the 4 weeks, whenever we wanted to do an immersion, we actually just set up a video conversation with them, which is on the app itself, and the consumer comes, taps into it, and joins the call along with us. So it was absolutely iterative, need-based. So some of the conversations actually went on for an hour.
Next is, not everybody would be comfortable with typing to share stories. So is there an option of voice-based chats, messaging? This can help with getting stories from lower SSE as well.
Oh, I would love to share this. When we started the chat interaction, I told my tech guy that let's have 250 characters. And when the consumers started to respond, they said, Jaga nahi hai. And we just had to triple the space. Likewise, voice notes have been added to the chat space as well. That's absolutely necessary as we keep going down the, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 towns. Yeah, absolutely, it's there.
I'll just
Including
add on to
emotion, including on the chat, the members can give an emoji to the other people's comments as well. Yep.
And how much time did, sorry.
I'll just add on to the previous question, which she answered, which you asked about time, So when a consumer in the middle of the night, answering after brushing her teeth that problem ye hai, main ye face kar rahi hu. So definitely there is a merit in that. They do not look at time as such. It could be the most instant and spontaneous, without any prompt feedback that we could get to get our moments of truth from the consumers.
That's such a brilliant point, Gargi. In fact, there is a cohort of members who come after 11:30 at night, and they come and ask us, is the contest still on? And they then write poems and, draw something and send it back to us around midnight. And that is a testimony, again, that they love doing it, and all they wanted was a space where they could be heard.
Last question. A lot of these are design-based activities used in consumer workshops. What is the value addition, according to you, of time-intensive engagement with consumers?
Can we elaborate on that as well? We have been, these communities can be tapped for, short engagements with consumers to very, very long. So let me call out knowing your consumer to even testing products. We've gotten food products tested where they have right from the beginning of unwrapping the product to how they stored it, how they fried it, all of that. Things that we didn't know happened in between before they gave the feedback, all of that can get captured. So, आपको product test करना हो, packaging test करना हो, brand, think about it. This is a hypothesis building space, and it can be done practically for everything, not just one area. That's a lot of questions, but I'm glad.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.